Hello and welcome to the basic statistical functions exercise. You will open the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that is available here and follow along with the video. This will work with statistical functions, sum, average, max, min, median, mode, and standard deviation. It is not submitted, but it is a good exercise to save as a resource later on. So go ahead and open up the Excel spreadsheet. Make sure you enable the editing. And if you look at the name of it, Basic Statistical Functions, I also have that as a title in row 1. The information is employee last name, employee first name, and this is units sold. It's not dollar values, it's units sold. And it's a good idea to always have your last name and first name separate columns instead of putting them all in one. And if we hover over row 4, and you have a thick arrow, and if you hold and drag, it'll tell you that there are 6 rows and lots of columns, but just to let you know how many rows there are. We have down here information, the sum, average, median, mode, max, min, and standard deviation. And they already have the calculation, so you do see the answer. So the total of all of these items is 549. And if you look, once I've clicked into it, I see the value here, the total, and then up in the formula bar, I actually see the formula, and that's for all of them. What we're going to do is perform the functions on our own as a practice in column D. If you wanted to refer to them, if your formula was, you typed in a formula, you're not getting the same answer, you could go back and peek at what the correct formula is. Another way that you can see your formulas, if you choose formulas and click show formulas, and then you'll see the entire formula. You don't see the answer, you do see the actual formulas. But I'm going to turn that off because we're going to do it together, just in column D. But before we do that, right now, I'm going to click home and I'm going to click in 549, and then I want to select all of C and D and change the number to make sure that they're all number so that they have the decimal 2 places. Now we'll begin. So you click in D12 and you're ready for your first one. So I would type equals, because of the all formulas start with equals, sum, and then it shows up, adds all the numbers in a range. If you double click it, it'll put in the opening parentheses for you, and I'll select my range. I don't have to type the closing parentheses. Just by pressing enter, Excel will put it in for me. And that's the correct answer. Another way I could have gotten the calculation is if I started with my equal sign, click C4 plus, click C5 plus C6 plus 7 plus C8 plus C9 and plus C10. And then enter. I do get the same answer, but it's a very long formula, and if I was I had hundreds of rows of information, I would run out of space. The other thing, it's not accurate. For example, if I wanted to add a new row here, so you'll notice that I have C4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could have actually even clicked C5 twice if I had a 5 in here, but it shows you all the row numbers. But what happens if I went to here and I clicked on row 6, and on the home tab I inserted an entirely new row? And for this one, I'll skip the last name and first name, but type in 100 units sold. And when I press enter, you'll notice that the sum will change. And it changed here as well because it was a range, so it went through the entire range. But if I click in here, you'll see that it skips 6. It doesn't count 6. So it's not accurate. So I'm going to remove that by just undoing, and then I'm going to delete that one. So you want to use a range rather than typing them manually. Now if you double click in an answer, it shows you what the range is. C4 through C10. I do the same thing here, it shows me the range. Alright, so now I'm going to find the average. And the average is to add all these up and divide by as many as there are, 7. So I'll start with the equals and I'll start typing average. And there it is. And it gives you a little definition of what the average is and what it will do. So I'll go ahead and double click it so it'll finish typing for me, and it also puts in the open parentheses. Now it's just asking for my range. I'll hover over C4, drag to C10. No need to have the closing parentheses, just enter. Medium equals MED. There it is already. Returns the medium or the number in the middle of the set of given numbers. Perfect. Double click it. Whoops. And then select my range and enter. The mode, most often, so equals MO. And there it is. Double click it and select the range and enter. Next is max equals MAX. There it is, returns the largest value in a set of values. So I'll go ahead and double click. It's waiting for the range and enter. Another way you could get the max or min is if you go to your auto sum calculations, and there you have min. So I can select it from here. It just doesn't give me the definition. It doesn't recognize the correct range, so I'm just going to reselect and press enter. So far they're all accurate. The last one is the standard deviation. This measures how much the values in the data set, so all of the values in this data set, vary from the mean. And the mean is 78.43. A low standard deviation means that most of the values are close to mean, while a high standard deviation means that the values are spread out over a wide range. So as you can see, this is low, closer to 0, so that most of these values are close to the 78.43. So again, equals ST, and there it is, standard deviation, and it tells you right here. And you'll double click that, and again it's asking for the range. Select and enter, and there you have it. So if you were to look at all of these formulas, these are just the values that you're seeing here, but looking in the formula bar, you can see that they're exactly the same. So this would be a good exercise to save. Thank you.